The crypto fear and greed index has not been this low since the index was created. This is the lowest that fear has ever went, or this is the most fear we have ever had. At the same time, about 19 or 20% of the S&P 500 stocks are at 52-week highs. There's a massive discrepancy. Now, Bitcoin is hovering here around $69,000. The market seems to be getting a little bit of a relief bounce, but yesterday I told you that I am adding to shorts, and that is exactly what I did. These are my short, you don't see it. These are my short positions currently open, and I do believe that Bitcoin is going lower. Now, in this show, I'm going to tell you exactly why I think that, what I'm doing, and how I'm playing this exactly. If you don't know who I am, my name is 𝗬𝗢, and I've been here since 2016. I bring you the latest alpha every single day here. Short, concise, and actionable. I'm trading. I make 4% a month. That's 100x your wealth in the next 10 years. You can ChatGPT that, and that is exactly how I'm running this channel. So if you want to subscribe to that, then hit the subscribe button and smash the like, join in on the community so you can get updates like this even if I'm not here on YouTube. Let's get going. Couple of things here. I told you that I have these shorts open. I do intend to leave them open. One of the biggest reasons is because I do believe Bitcoin will need to retest the $66,000 region. Why? So as you know, I usually do my analysis on the total market cap, and yesterday on the show here, I actually explained why this is something I call the AMD, accumulation, manipulation, and then distribution phase. Now, this, I, by the way, have a full video up here. You might want to check that out. But this is a very simple setup, actionable setup that you can take away, which usually goes with a range, some kind of range where accumulation happens. Then there is a liquidation wick that usually takes above the previous high, and then an immediate followed, but that has to have a close above there, followed by an immediate close below as well, which we've seen here in the shortened time frame. This is where the first short could have been triggered. I was sleeping here. It was 4 a.m. my time, so I actually didn't take it. But when it got back here, I did, and this is my my entry. I explained all this on the show yesterday. What changed though is nothing. That's what changed. So if you look at this, we did have a bounce from this seemingly very strong demand zone, and that rode it all the way up, and it's coming down in a staircase. And you could say that, 𝗬𝗢, you always say elevator up, stairs down. First of all, this is not an elevator. This is staircase, right? And then the staircase is coming down, and it's not coming down from anywhere. It actually is coming down from a very, very big supply zone. Whether it's coming from here or here, this is what I posted in the community yesterday, and I said, hey, this is what I had yesterday on the show. And the market was down at 2.35 trillion in the total market cap. Oh, let me come back here. Total market cap, 2.25, 30. What is it, 2.35, and then I drafted that we are going to come have this little pump and then a rejection, and that is what is happening. The only thing is that this seems like a strong demand zone, but because this did not close above any major level, you cannot consider this a strong level, and therefore it will most likely be taken. Not only that, but also you can see this massive trend line, which is called a trend line liquidity, and you want to see that trend line liquidity taken, or the market makers are always taking that. Second is, the reason why I believe that we are going to get a dump here is because the market, so there is a V-shaped recovery on the 15-minute chart. Again, if you have been following the channel like every single day, you allocate on 2x 5 minutes. If you don't do that, like, I don't know what to tell you. This is literally the best spend of your time on a bus, in a car, whatever that is. So come back every day. But on one of these shows, when this happened, 2-3 days ago, I actually explained why this V-shaped recovery is super important for us in the 15-minute. This is a very primed signal. This is where we took the long position, and then I closed the long positions when we got to these major rejection areas. And so this here is still a very strong level, signaling a very strong reversal, especially pushing it back on the weekly. Like, remember what I tweeted? I said we have to close above the weekly. So I still believe that we are going to have a continuation to the upside, but we need to see a dip for that first. Now, usually how markets work is that between Monday and Wednesday, the manipulation sets, usually again AMD, and then the rest of the week we can ride the opposite direction. So I would not be surprised if this does something like this and then come below the 50, pull a market structure shift, and then the rest of the week actually rallies and goes a little bit higher, touching onto this daily equilibrium up here. That could be the play here, 2.68 trillion. That's the daily 50% on this chart here. So if the market wants to get back to that level, it would be about 2.68 trillion, or about, let me just look at Bitcoin. or about $75,000 on Bitcoin, which is another 10% pump from here. So ultimately, TLDR, here is what I'm expecting. I'm expecting this to have a little bit of a push here, maybe a little bit, tiny bit, whatever, maybe even up here, I don't know that, but something like this, and then a rejection from that level, come back to the 50% down here, both on the total market cap and on the Bitcoin chart, come back to around $66,000. From there, I am going to look for something called a market structure shift, a shift in the market structure, which should be, the structure should be down here in the lower time frame. When there's that shift happens, I'm going to post in the Telegram immediately. I am going to close my short positions, and I am going to take long positions to ride this wave up, but I need to see confirmation. Until that, all I see is nothing else but a potential 50% retrace in AMD playing out, AMD playing out, a retrace to the 50% region, and a massive trendline liquidity just above that 50% equilibrium. So ultimately, I do believe Bitcoin is going lower, and I do believe that there is no reason to believe that it's not happening. Now, I do believe that it might, if the market start pushing here, I think it is worth to actually have more trades added. So in case it happens, now if you look at the sessions, by the way, like if you look at the sessions, it can I don't think so, but it can happen that New York pumps again, as this happened here. So it can happen that we come all the way up here and then potentially, you know, reject from there. So in case we start rallying, I do believe that it makes sense to add to these positions. You can also wait for a confirmation. Anything like this, I'm going to update you in the community. But ultimately, the target remains down here, 66,000-ish region on Bitcoin, and that's how I position myself. Couple of things I want to say. We have a partner here, Toobit. I am trading on the exchange actively. The best part is that a lot of you, I don't sell a course, I don't have a paid community, I don't have a free community, but I wanted to give you some cool stuff. So if you want sessions with me, if you want to spend the weekend with me, all you need to do, or you want to go to a La Liga game, I'm hinting a little bit more here, all you need to do is basically use our link down in the description, trade on that, and if you trade on that link, there will be volume, there will be P&L, and we'll take that and give you some amazing things. Toobit is actually a non-KYC exchange available worldwide. I'm at the team in Singapore. They are signing with La Liga, who I talked to the La Liga team, which is the one of the biggest football championships out there. I talked to them. They did due diligence on the exchange, looked at all their books, so very, very legit. Cool sign-up bonus, everything, link in the description. Guys, appreciate you. TLDR, I think we're going lower. Possibly we can have a little bit of pump today and then a flush. Any pump, I do believe, is going to get sold off, so it's worth taking a position. I'm going to update you in the community. Join in on Toobit and trade with us. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. Check this out. This is AMD, and this is 𝗬𝗢. Come back tomorrow. I'll see you here.